Hey everyone, it's Jenny W, and this is a Resin With Me video. I haven't done one of these before. I attempted to try this like silent and just use music, but I actually have to be able to speak and tell you what's going on. I am going to make a memorial ash pendant. I already have the materials I need and everything. I have this the cross that I'm going to use because that's what they wanted. I'm going to have a lot of leftover resin, so I'm going to make me a daisy necklace with that, and I might make something else, I don't know, but the main thing is in this video is probably the daisy and the cross that I'm going to do. I have some flowers here that I have picked out for the cross, and I need to add a charm to it as well. I have trimmed down the heart of ash. It did have some leftover like resin around it. Hopefully my camera will focus. There we go. Hopefully it will focus. Alright, so I had some leftover resin around this. It's hard to keep hold of, but I had some leftover resin around the edges, so I had to trim that off. But this is the heart of ash. It goes in the center of the cross is what I'm doing. So there's that. Any leftover pieces like that I trim around the edges, obviously I send those back to the family member because, you know, I mean, they still have ashes in there, so I want to make sure that they get all of that. So I have that ready to go. I just used these cutters to trim around the edges. You can see that. And then I use these tweezers to put the flowers in the resin. I have me some gloves, nitrile gloves. I think that's how you say it. And then the resin that I'm using is art resin. I have already mixed up the resin. All I'm doing is waiting for the bubbles to rise. I mixed it up for about 5 minutes, just mixing it up, making sure it was mixed really well, everything like that. So that's what I've been doing there. And now I'm just waiting for those bubbles to rise, and then I can start pouring the resin. Another piece that I use is the torch. It is a lighter that I just got at a gas station, so I use that. And then I have a respirator thing. When I have it off right now, but I'll put it back on and stuff when I start pouring the resin, and we'll listen to some music, you know, little YouTube music or whatever. But this here is the little cross. I'm going to put down this here so you can see it as well as my little mold. This one here I got off of Family Molds on Etsy. And this one, I don't know, I'm going to have to look it up, and I'll try to link it in the description box where I got it. And then, you know, I made the heart of ash to go in there as well, which you can't hardly see it because it blends in. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to let these bubbles rise some more. Might go ahead and use this torch and pop a few of them. And I have popped a few of those bubbles. You can tell it's not as bubbly as it was. There's still a few micro bubbles, but they'll rise to the top too. I have it about 70, almost 80 degrees in this room. So just that's the temperature you really need it at, because if it's cooler or anything like that, it's the resin like gets a lot of the micro bubbles and stuff in it, and it might have a few in it anyways because I don't have anything fancy to like pop the bubbles. All I have is this torch, and so it might get a few micro bubbles still, but it's not, you know, anything ridiculous. I like using art resin. It's just a lot clearer, it doesn't yellow fast, it's easy to work with, I really like it. Here soon I should be able to pour this resin. We're gonna wait a few minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, I have let it set. It is pretty clear. There's still like a few little bubbles in there. If my camera will focus on this. Maybe I need to back it up some. Oh. And angle it this way more maybe. Alright, so there's still a little bit of micro bubbles, but other than that, it's pretty clear. I'm gonna use the torch over it again after I start to pour it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this poured in these molds, and then I might go ahead and make a crystal while I'm doing it. If I have enough, we'll just see how that goes. But let's get started. These flowers that I got, I purchased them off of Etsy, and I'll show you. They have these little backs to them, and yeah, see the little stem? I had to cut that off, and then they're not flat, so that's why I turned the flower around, because it's not flat. So I needed the flattest part to be on the back side here, which will end up being the front of the pendant, but I needed it that way. And then there is a little drop here on the side, but I'm not too worried about that because I can cut that off and sand it. It's really thin, so I'm not too worried about that. I do want to kind of start doing my own flowers and everything, that way that I would have like my own flowers to put into stuff. But there's that one. I'm going to set it over here. Then we have this. This is the little cross. I'm going to try to zoom in so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Hopefully it doesn't go out of focus too bad. But let me try to zoom in here. just so you can maybe see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna get this one started. Alright, so that's a thin layer. I need to put the flowers in the background. So what I'm gonna do is I kind of had this planned out how I wanted to do it. And then I'm just gonna get these laid in there. You wanna make sure the flowers are completely covered in the resin. I do the flowers first, and then I'll add like the ash piece. Alright, I'm gonna put some pink in here. I have some pink petals. They're very light pink. I'm gonna put them in there. These are all flowers that I ordered from the same thing. Same shop on Etsy, and I'll try to link that down below. I like it to look a little bit natural, and I like my pieces to have some, you know, to shine through them. Like, I don't like them to be completely covered. I like them to have some space where you see the flowers, and then you can like literally see the other side of the, you know, stuff too. We're gonna maybe put, I don't know, this right here. And then I might put another one of these kind of right there. But I could also do, like, if someone did want a memorial ash pendant like this or something, I could always put some memorial flowers in there as well. Because these are just dried flowers that I'm putting in here. So I could easily put memorial flowers in here and make it a complete like memorial piece. I might do well, it's got a lot of green in it, so I'm gonna tear a couple pieces of this pink off and put some more pink in there. Make it a little bit more colorful, but still using just natural. Ooh, this is gonna be so pretty. I can't wait to see what it looks like once it's done. Okay, now I have the flowers laid out, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this memorial ash piece right there in the center. But it has to be perfect. Can't be crooked. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. I'm going to put another thin layer of, just to help cover that up. Because I want it to kind of be flush with the edges. Because then I'm not going to have to dome it so much, as long as it's flush. Okay, so the heart moved a little bit, so I just kind of need to push that back where it needs to go. And it still might move some, but it's pretty much in the center. And that's where I need it. So, all right, I have these two pieces here, and I'm just gonna kind of pop some bubbles. All right, that doesn't look too bad. I have a lot of leftover resin, so I am going to go ahead and use this crystal mold that I have.